right, guys. This is a video that's going to be really about something that I discovered yesterday. And it's called, there's a lot of different names for it. There's cause and effect. There's, you know, um, a happening, being responsible. There's a lot of different ways to one, to name it, whatever you want to call it. But to me, what it is called, I want to call it first cause. Like, first cause, when I say first cause, what I'm really talking about is something happens, we react, and either positive or negative, and then we are responsible for the outcome that happens thereafter. Um, and so when I think about, this new term that I came up with, first cause, I'm like, holy shit, there is a lot of things that I have to be responsible for, and I can't even like be mad at the other person because I have to see how my actions, what I did, how it actually affected the person that I'm dealing with. Why are they angry? What did I do? How did it affect them? And so there's just a lot of different things that we have to consider. And at first I wanted to say it's 100%. We are responsible 100%. But the more I thought about it, we can't be responsible at 100% of the time, for first cause. Like, there's going to be a first cause that you're going to do, and someone's just going to react however they react to you. Now, I could say that you're responsible for either the positive or the negative reaction, but I can't say that 100% because of the interpretation. How are they interpreting what's actually happening at the moment, that the first cause or the first thing that sets the domino off to this whatever situation it is. Like, we can determine what the other person is making it mean, the significance of it, how it's affected them emotionally. There's a lot of different things that we cannot actually determine. But what we can determine is how is our actions going to affect another human being when we do something. And here's a perfect example. I went with my girlfriend yesterday to pick up her cousin from jail. And she went inside the jail. She didn't say anything to me, but the first thing I made it mean is that she didn't want me in there. There's something that she's hiding. There's something that's going on that's amiss. And so I'm trying to be with that. And as I'm trying to be with that, my brain wants to go into this, reactive reaction mode. All right, I'm gonna go up here to the gas station. I'm gonna go look around. I'm gonna grab myself something to eat. Maybe I'm gonna find a pair of gloves, because at this particular moment in time, I thought I had lost my gloves. And so I drove up to the gas station, with the intention of just grabbing something to eat, maybe, a pair of gloves, maybe, a stocking hat, because the one I had was just kind of like rolling up on my head. And lo and behold, my card did not work there. Their swipe did not work. And so instead of just going back, and waiting for my girlfriend, or simply walking inside to where she was at, I decided to go across the street to Price Chopper. I didn't take my phone inside, and so she's blowing me up. She's trying to get in touch with me because, one, it's cold outside. She's ready to go home, and I am not responding or not even answering the phone. And so she has no clue about what's going on. And so when she shows up to where I'm at across the street at Price Chopper, she is very upset. And she comes in and she does what she does, and then she walks out. And then I immediately walk out, and the one thing that I want to do is make her wrong for her reaction to me. Well, here's the truth of the matter is. The truth of the matter is I was not available to her when she needed me to be available in her car. And so she has every right to be upset with me, and I have no right to be upset with her, because I am responsible for this outcome because of the first cause effect. The first cause effect is me just going off in my feelings, having these thoughts and just being in reactive mode instead of diligently thinking about it, sitting in that, and then maybe having a conversation with her once we get home. That was probably the best thing for me to do, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I decided I wanted to be in reactive mode. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Fuck how she feels. And that's not right. It's not. It's very fucking selfish. And these are the type of reactions that I'm starting to see in myself more and more, and I do not like it. I do not like it because it's more of a reaction than a conscious thought. It's more of me just reacting in the moment to an emotional stimuli instead of taking the time out and really digging into what emotions are at play here and not allowing the emotions to take over in such a way that I'm just reacting in a way that is causing conflict. And so that's why I call it first cause, because it's something that is going to cause some type of conflict, some type of manifestation of, trouble, um, disconnection, and even all the way, even, and it can even get as bad as, divorce, breaking up, or the end of a friendship, because some people can really, really be bothered by some of the silly reactive things that we can do when we don't take others' feelings, thoughts, or reactions into consideration and just really sit on those emotions and have a conversation after the fact to try to dig in and find out what's actually going on, so to come up with a solution that works for everyone. So my advice to anyone who's actually listening to this, I don't know who the fuck would listen to this bullshit, is to just really sit in whatever emotion is happening, because it's all just a happening, and there's no significance to it. There's no meaning to it. Only the meaning that we assign to it. Does it hurt us? Does it frustrate us? Does it make us insecure? Like, what are the emotions at play that are causing reactiveness to certain stimuli, and patterns that we normally, have, because these are not the things that we do when we're in reactive mode really are a set of etched in stone patterns that we have that we need to unlearn, or we need to unravel and really come into an understanding of why we actually do those things, and what are we gaining from those reactive states, or those times that we are in reactive mode, when we're causing conflict, when we're causing disconnection, when we're causing distrust, or when we're causing insecurities and things of that nature. So it is a wide variety of things that are going on, that are at play, especially when it comes to interpersonal relationships. We're talking about marriages, we're talking about different kinds of relationships that can really suffer because of the reactive nature of how we do things, because sometimes we get a little bit too emotional. Like, no one is right or wrong here. There's no narcissistic behavior going on here. There's no any of that shit. And I really think, and I'm going to say this out loud, that people are taking this narcissistic thing and just propagating it like everyone out there is a narcissist. And they're not. Some of them are just in reactive mode. They're in reaction. They're in some type of turmoil emotionally that is causing a reaction that they are just not comfortable in speaking or articulating to a person that they say that they love or trust. And until that happens, we are going to continue to see the same type of cycles happen over and over and over again. And we have to be able to break those type of patterns, those thoughts that cause, turmoil, those that cause disconnection, that has us in, an emotional state that is not conducive to our reactiveness, or being able to sit down and find a solution to a particular issue that we're dealing with. And no one's right or wrong about that. No one's right or wrong about that. It's just, it's human. It's our humanness. It's our humanness that allows us, or that just takes over, that wants to just make us right in our thinking, instead of really just committing to the person or the thing that we say that we want or need or we want to be a part of. So many people are using excuses, like, oh, he's a narcissist, or he's a bad person, or he's toxic, or he's his masculinity is not any good. He doesn't listen, or he wants to force me to do things that I don't want to do, or he's trying to control me. And sometimes it's not even about control. It's not even about trying to tell somebody to do something. It's really about a caring that says, hey, we don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to deal with any type of problems or ill intentions. Or we've been through this type of circumstance, situation, and we already know what is going to happen. And people want to take it like you don't care, or you're trying to control. And I'm so sorry, people. That is not the case. We really do need to get back to a natural order of things. Not that it has to look a particular way, or it has to be some type of patriarchy, but it has to be an agreement between two people in how they want to come together and be in relationship with one another, and creating that within the dynamics of the relationship that actually work. As for me, I want a woman who is feminine. I want a woman who has known her father, so she understands that as a man, I am going to want to take charge, or I am going to want to be the one that leads, but also she understands that I understand her part in all of this, because she is the queen. She is going to be able to move in circles, hear things and see things I am never going to be privy to. Never. And so it's a dynamic that allows relationships to work, and for us to be able to, counterbalance or fill in the gaps of the other person's weakness. Like, my weakness is finances. And I'm not even gonna lie, I spend way too much money on bullshit. And my significant other, her strong suit is finances. And so I lean on her and learn from her how to go about dealing with my finances, my credit. How do I build that, instead of having some type of animosity or being in competition with her? She is someone I can learn from, and vice versa. And when people get out of this narrative of toxic relationship, narcissism, selfishness, all these things that causes division or causes a lack of commitment, because that's what it is nowadays. That no one has the balls or the wherewithal to stay committed when things aren't going well. Like, we all fall in and out of love. We do it on a constant basis. We come in and out of it. I know the fuck I do. But the one thing that I know I am is that I am committed to my relationship. It doesn't matter if I'm fucking miserable. I'm committed to the woman I say I love, the woman that I say that I want to be with, through it all. Because I understand that there are going to be moments when she's just not going to fucking like me. When I'm going to get on her fucking nerves. When things are just not going to run smoothly because of whatever emotional trauma or whatever, past tense thing she has dealt with, And so it's just this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful way for us to actually be in relationship. Hey, this motherfucking fat bastard. Fuck this man up. Anyway, I wasn't even supposed to be in there. It's a full moon tonight. I'm a Leo. And as a Leo, I care deeply about the people in my life. My personality is a personality that really doesn't show a lot of emotion, but I promise you, I care deeply and profoundly about the people and the world at large. And all I want to do is help, and I also want to be helped. I don't know it all. I don't have all the fucking answers. I don't know everything. Nobody does. But however, we can help each other by having these type of discussions and dialogues and get out of this narrative of wanting to call each other toxic. Where is the commitment? Where is the love? Where is the, calling your partner out and says, what, I love you and this ain't right and I'm going to stand by you to be strong. Like, where did all that shit go? We are a generation of, if it doesn't feel good now, if a person don't accept me for who I am or what I'm doing right now, if a person wants to push me to be better, I don't want to be in the fucking relationship because he wants to change me. She wants to change me. No, nobody wants to change each other. We just want you to be better. We're listening to you. I listen to my soon-to-be ex-wife talk all the time about wanting to lose weight, wanting to get back into the gym. But the only thing she was ever able to do is to complain. Never take an action. And it was always some factor outside of herself that caused some type of turmoil. There was always something to be blamed. And so what I'm trying to say is that sometimes the hardest thing that we can do as a human being is just to simply take the fucking action to change our lives. Not put it on anybody, not to say it's anyone else's fault, not to say, what, Joe Schmo down the road gave me a fucking donut and I gained 20 fucking pounds. No, he didn't. You wanted that donut. My relationship's failing because she doesn't listen to me. Well, maybe you're not communicating in such a way that she can actually hear you. And then if you try to be in that type of communication with them and they still are not getting it or they're still not, making an effort to hear you or to even transform it, then there's a new conversation to have. Maybe this isn't working. I love you, but you know what? I have to let you go. And that's kind of the situation I was in, I love my wife. I was committed to my wife. My wife made choices that look like I'm leaving the house. I'm not telling him where I'm going. And, whatever choice he makes, it's going to be on him. Without even considering that this is a partnership. Marriage is a partnership where we communicate what's going on with each other and how to make those things better and to transform ourselves together to make this relationship work, even when it's not working. Because if we don't do it now, we take the same shit into the next relationship. I remember saying many, many times to my ex-wife, hey, if you're not happy with me, leave me. I want your happiness. Your happiness means the world to me. And if you're not happy with me, I would rather you be happy with someone else. And I might be crushed by it, but to know that you are happy means everything to me. And today we were having a conversation, we were texting, and I just simply asked her, hey, are you happy? And she says, yes, I am happy. And I'm so grateful. It took thousands of pounds and thousands of, feeling all this pressure, feeling guilty for being happy in my new relationship. It just took all of that away. And I'm just like, thank God. Thank God that she was able to find her happiness, her what she deserved to have in her life, to fulfill her needs. And I was able to find mine. Not to say that everything is finite, like nothing is finite, but as of right now, I'm in a healthy relationship. Hopefully she's in a healthy relationship with someone else or just with herself. No ill will, no animosity, no hatred. Just a genuine love and gratefulness that someone that I care deeply about is getting what they deserve, what they worked hard for, what they've asked for years. It just makes me feel really, really good about it. So, this camera is like all over the place. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. Um, so this is just like a rant, and we're just having this conversation about the world at large and how the status of relationships and marriages are going. And I see all these different so-called relationship experts. Like, I'm looking at them and I'm scrolling past them. And one thing that I hear all the time is there's some men out there who wants to bash other men and put them down. Like, we don't look at women and put them on pedestals. Well, here's the deal, folks. Some women don't deserve to be put on a pedestal. Some women don't understand how to treat a man. And it's not by any fault of their own. Some women may not have known their father. Some women may have gone through traumatic experiences with men that causes them to not trust fully. Some may have been abused or beaten, verbally abused. But all of those instances and all of those circumstances and situations can easily be rectified, one, by going to a counselor and being very, very open and honest about what's going on with you, where you need to heal, and being willing to let things go. To not harbor, not to hold on. That's the one thing we want to do as human beings. Is we want to hold on to certain aspects and certain feelings and certain thoughts. Because in some type of way, the victim mentality or, that circumstance solicits some type of sympathy or victimization or whatever the fuck these people are getting out of it, instead of just saying, you know what, this shit happened and it fucking hurt. And it was fucking wrong. But it's time for me to let that go and to be able to trust again, to be able to give my heart fully again, to be able to be in relationship again, and to be able to call out any toxic behaviors and stay committed. Because that's what makes relationships better, and that's what makes marriages better, and that's what actually propels most marriages and relationships into partnerships and teams, is when they stay committed. Because let me tell you something, we all fall in and out of love. We're all going to hate our spouses sometime. We're all going to want to say, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. They don't understand us, because now we have become selfish in the relationship. We refuse to see what the other person is doing for us or to acknowledge it. And so we create this false narrative around the other person that we're with instead of acknowledging the truth. We go and talk to our friends about how bad they are, or what they do is wrong, or how they make us feel. Instead of saying, you know what, my feelings are hurt by them. Right now they don't seem to care about me. Instead of sitting down and having these genuine, open, honest conversations, or being willing to say, you know what, I was wrong in this instance to either to do this or to get on you. We want to blame shift. We want to call people narcissists. We want to call people, toxic. We just want to use all this bullshit instead of staying fucking committed. 60 years ago, people fought. They didn't leave relationships because their feelings got hurt, or because they had a bad couple of fucking years, or because somebody made a fucking mistake. That's part of being a fucking human being. It's part of the humanness of us all. It's part of the growing. It's part of the learning. We have to be, folks, we just have to be able to honestly sit down and assess and be brutally honest with ourselves. No one is fucking perfect. Not one of us. We all make mistakes.